All right, joining us in studio. We were doing that way too fast. Man, we just got to talking during the break.
I know.
And,
I couldn't tell if we were on or not.
Anyway, that's my thing. That's why I had to start a show. I just talk too much.
A nice warm-up icebreaker.
Oh,
lead
my
in.
goodness. Gavin Houston joining us in studio this morning. I have something to admit to you before we get going.
Uh-oh.
I am sick of the sound of my own voice.
Oh.
And I talk so much that I am booking myself into a silent retreat, I swear.
Now, do you talk as much when you go home?
Well, this is the problem. Yes, now. And I can't stop.
Then you're taking work home with you.
Yeah.
And that's the big problem.
That's true. I should just, when I leave here, I should clock out and be silent the rest of the day.
Silent. Keep yourself
Every day is a silent retreat.
That would be nice. Gavin stars as Jeffrey Harrington on Tyler Perry and OWN Network's show The Haves and the Have-Nots. It airs Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. on the OWN Network. Gavin, 7 seasons?
7 seasons.
My goodness.
And going.
Wow. So we're thinking about an 8th.
We're thinking about it.
Woo!
You know, it's interesting because with
Good for
7
you.
seasons, you also see everybody's life evolved.
Sure.
People have had kids. People are getting married.
Sure.
But, it's a big family there. And I think going back, like right now, it's like a machine. And it just feels like home for all of us, especially when we get to gather with each other once a year. And see Tyler and be a part of the crew.
Sure.
Like, it's the same crew. It's the same people.
Well, that's what's fun about all these things. It just becomes a little family.
Yeah.
I always thought of being on a show like that as like almost like summer camp.
It is.
It's like you come together for a bit, you have an experience, then you go away, but then you're going to come back the following summer and have the same counselors and the same. It's like summer
exciting.
camp to me.
And it just starts to feel like the first season when you don't know what you have, you don't know anybody. Then it's a little bit more nerve-wracking. But then, it's kind of like it's a big team.
Oh, yeah.
So you see your team again. Like, everybody's gone away in the off-season. Now we're back in season. And then it's like, oh, team's back.
And people just keep coming back to summer camp with fancier cars.
Yeah.
The longer you're there.
Fancier cars, yeah.
I once had a crew guy. I did a guest star spot on a show one time. And I once had the crew guy. It was. I think they were in their like 5th or 6th season as well. And this crew guy was like, I was kind of asking him the same thing. Like, has it always been the same people and the same crew and the cast and all that? And he's like, of course. And I was like, so like, what's changed over the years? He's like, just the cars.
Just the cars, right.
Just the cars. People driving nicer cars now than they used to.
I think that was literally like first season. I think it's funny because, and it's interesting because I remember saying this like with Tyler when we were all new. Everybody was hanging out together. We're all away from home, and he was like, "Oh, that's good. Well, let's see what happens in the next 3 to 4 years."
Sure.
Because with so many shows, sometimes it can happen where people they get so used to it and they kind of need their own space. Yeah. But we like each other. We're still hanging out outside.
Well, that's the thing.
And,
when you spend too much time with anybody, even like family, like things can get contentious. But when you find the times and people and groups of people when it doesn't, that's the beauty.
That's when it's great because everybody's just normal. There's no egos. And like I said, it's a big family. But, 12 to 14-hour days and people are like, well, let's hang out. Let's all go out to dinner. You're like,
that's so much fun.
Yeah. But with this group, it's just easy. So it's interesting to see people have gone to cars, to houses, to so everybody's life is just changing. Yeah, but I think first season everybody got rid of the old beater kind of car.
Of course. Look, you go on all these interviews, you go on all these shows, and everyone probably is just like, hey, what's Tyler like? What's Mr. Perry? I can't call him Tyler. I'm going to call him Mr. Perry. You can call him Tyler. I'll call him Mr. Perry. What's he like? How's he to work with? That's all they ask, right? Yeah. I can't ask the same old boring questions, so I always ask people when they work with cool people like that, okay, what's he smell like?
What's he smell like?
Yeah.
What's he smell like? Well, he doesn't smell like anything. He smells good, I guess.
Yeah.
So, and I know he's got a very...
Does he smell like success?
Smells like success, yes.
Oh, definitely. He definitely,
of course. What else do you got?
And he's a normal... what's great about it is that, because I was the same, like, meeting Tyler, meeting Oprah, but they're so down to earth and normal that now, it's just Tyler, and
so
it's
he smells like success. He smells successful, but a little bit of humble.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. A lot of humble.
Smells like humble.
Smells like a lot of humble. Smells like a lot of normal. So
I feel like Oprah would smell like, if I met Oprah, I think whether she smells like it or not, in my brain she would just smell like warm, fresh baked chocolate chip cookies.
Yes, because it's like going to visit an aunt.
In a dewy garden.
She feels like family. She's so normal, down to earth. Oh yeah, she's just like, and that was the immediate thing that I noticed. The warmth in her, and I was like, oh, so this is why people open up on the couch, and they're like, okay, because you literally feel like you're sitting down with a family member,
right?
Because she's so relatable, she's so easygoing, she's so normal.
Tell me about the first time. What were the circumstances the first time you met either one of them? You probably met Tyler early on in the audition process somewhere or something, maybe.
I didn't meet him. I knew he was in the room.
Oh, I see.
And it's interesting because I think he was shooting a Medea movie during the audition. So it was in this big theater, and he was, I think, on a break, like in between scenes. So he still had half of his Medea outfit on.
Oh, no way.
So he didn't want to scare any of the people auditioning. So what they did was they had this blinding light in our face, so we couldn't see him. So I was like, I know he's supposedly somewhere out there in this room, and he was like way up in the theater.
Oh wow!
And then I do the scene, and then I heard this deep voice go, "Nice, very good," and I was like, oh, where did that come? It was like from the heavens, this voice comes out. And then just meeting him the first time I met him on set, and just the same thing, just warm, welcoming.
That's cool.
With Oprah, the first time we met, it was she was visiting the set, and everything got shut down. And everybody was brought into this big room, and I'm like, "What is going on?" I just never assumed that I would actually meet Oprah. You know, with a lot of network execs, they exist, but you never get a chance to like meet them and relate. And with the show, like I said, she was so down to earth. She visited. She came and walked in. I was like,
did she walk in, or did she float in?
I think she hovered in.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
And then landed.
That's awesome. Trumpets as she entered.
Trumpets. Yeah. So it was. And she was just normal.
Oh, that's cool.
She was just in like sweats and just like just normal and just happy to be there. So what's great is that I will say with the set, the first thing that which I love that Tyler does is that we get in a circle and we actually hold hands and say a prayer just for the day,
right?
Just to get it going.
A little bit of unity.
Yeah, unity, and I think from that just sets the tone.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, that kind of, to me, when you said that, it reminds me of like almost like a high school theater situation. Yes. Like before every show and every play that we would do, you get in a little circle and you just kind of check in with everybody and remind. My acting teacher in high school used to remind everybody that they call it a play for a reason. Let's go play. Yeah. Let's have some fun. Let's keep the energy up. And I miss that sometimes. You go to these other sets and you just sort of do rehearsal. People kind of stick to themselves sometimes, like you were saying, especially on some of these shows that have been around for a while. And you miss that like spontaneous, energetic, creative environment. Yep. So that's really cool that he does that. And then they just grab
you like, we're ready for you, and you just get thrown.
It seems like a good leader.
Oh,
good leader of people.
Absolutely. And me from coming from a team and football background, it's kind of like being in that locker room where everybody just gets together. You kind of regroup, get a chance to reconnect.
Yeah.
And you're right. And then you can go out and play, and it just is a reminder that you've done the work. You're placed in this position for a reason, and now just play and have fun.
Yeah, man. That's cool. Where'd you grow up originally?
New Jersey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm a Jersey boy. I was born in New York, in Brooklyn, New York, and then pretty much raised in Jersey. And I went to University of Florida, then back to New York.
Gators.
Uh-huh. Go Gators. And then I was happy in New York doing theater. I was on a soap opera at the time, and I never forget, I auditioned for the pilot of Desperate Housewives.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't get the role. So I was like, okay. And I knew I had killed the audition. So I tuned in to see like what, and I knew the story and the lines in the scene. And then just from watching, I was like, I need to go out to LA.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just was a feel like that's when I knew, because I knew what I gave in that room, and I knew how the scene went when I watched the pilot. And I'm just gonna say, like, Okay, it's probably better that I go out there because with being in New York.
When you watch the guy who got it, you mean?
Correct.
You were like, oh, I was
right.
I'm better than that guy.
Well, no, I didn't say that.
Well, but I mean,
I would just
or
say,
at least
I just would say I felt,
dude, it's okay.
I felt like I had stronger choices.
Gavin, you smell very humble right now.
Right, you do.
I'm trying.
You're giving off a very humble smell.
No,
it's okay. Look, hey, I mean, better might not be the right word, but it's okay to look. I do it all the time. Come on,
because I'm always.
I watch TV all the time, going, oh please, I had knocked that guy out of the park.
And
that's all right.
Like
that's
watching
okay.
a movie. Have you ever been like a bad actor or something stands out? And you're like, oh,
of course.
And then you got to think like they beat the other people to get that role.
Of course. So. But this is the thing though too. There's all kinds of different factors, but auditioning is different than getting the job too. Like maybe they go in the room and crush it, then they get on set, they're nervous or something. Because sometimes, I find with some actor friends and stuff, it's like they prepare for the audition with their coaches and friends and whatever. So for the audition, they're super prepared. Then they get the job, they get on set. All of a sudden, no more coaches, no more whatever. Sometimes, and so it's a weird world out there. But look, I think it's only natural in any industry, whether you're an actor or you are in construction or an architect or anything like that, to think, like if you're an architect, you're like, if I had a shot at designing that building, I would have done it differently.
Sure.
Or I would have made a bolder statement on the outside of the building or something like that. So, why not?
Now, did you like auditioning? Like before?
Oh, I can't stand auditioning.
I don't think
likes
anybody.
auditioning?
No, it's the worst.
And it's so funny. It's like
you have to learn to love it, though.
You have to learn to love it. You have to learn to make it work for yourself. And the funny thing is, you're not going to go on set with just having the script the night before. It's you know what I mean. You'll be way more prepared. And
I don't know. Sometimes.
Well, sometimes, that can happen. You would hope that it wouldn't, but you also, I think, a lot of actors too. You want to nail it in the first take.
Yeah.
Even though on set you'll have multiple takes. And I think once for myself, like there's times in the middle of a scene I'd be like, oh no, let's change it. Like I burn that scene. So it's like they have to, because once I learned. Like I keep headbutting this thing. Once I learned that they're just gonna send the best clip, they're not gonna send all the bad clips or the mistakes.
Right.
Then it took the pressure off. Like just treat it like now you're going to set to shoot.
Yeah.
So just take it like that, and
you only have to get it right once.
Right.
Well, and the other thing too is like we're always talking on this show about we got listeners and people that hit us up on social media all the time, and people that want to get into acting and music and these things, and they need the motivation, and I'm nervous or whatever. And I'm always telling people, like, the more you do something, just like football or like we're talking about anything, you're gonna get better the more experience you have. And like you were just saying, like, the experience of being on a show for so long, and now when you're in it and you're doing it on the day, and you can feel that it's not necessarily going the right way, you have the confidence to be like, hold on, let's go back. I want to get this right.
Yeah.
Whereas at the beginning, you might have just soldiered on, and then that might not have been such a good take, and they send that in. So everything comes with experience, everybody.
And you have to be able to, you have to know how to care and then not care at the same time. Knowing how to care is in the preparation, and then the not caring is in letting it go.
Yeah.
Because, you go in and it could be something totally different, and on the spot you have to change it. Yeah. So you have to be able to not be like married or beholden to one way of doing it. So it's really interesting. And I think, like you were saying, like it's all about the preparation. I think in terms of getting into this, it's like sports. You're only as good as you train and as you work. It's like a muscle. So, I talk to people sometimes about, sometimes people are like, well, I go to class. And sometimes it's like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And so sometimes it's like, that's great, but that's like brushing your teeth once a week and expecting to have white teeth. You have to do it every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like putting in those chips. You look at LeBron or like a Kobe or like it's a daily thing.
In the gym constantly.
And then that will help the confidence to know, like, I've worked out. I have this muscle strong.
Well, and the other thing too, oh man, I could talk to you all day. Katie's pushing me towards the our final thing here, but you'll have to just come back. That's all that means.
That's all.
But
I'm totally
not only get in the gym every day, but also like if you're gonna, so just using the basketball analogy, if you're gonna get in the gym every day, if you're LeBron and you're gonna get in the gym every day, make sure you're also playing one-on-one against like a Kobe. You know what I mean? Don't play one-on-one against the guy at the end of the bench because you beat him every time.
Yeah.
So like what I mean is like if you're practicing acting or whatever, make sure your friends are like people you respect in acting, people that you think are good.
Absolutely.
You don't want to just work out with someone who you're stronger than all the time.
And that's the great thing is that there's no ceiling on it. Yeah. And you can never be overtrained.
Yeah.
So you always can learn. There's just nothing but constant growth and evolving.
Totally. Oh, man. But yeah. And by the way, this works in all fields.
In all fields. Yeah.
Oh, man. I could talk to you all day. But I have to just ask you quickly.
Sure.
So let me remind everyone, the haves and the have-nots on Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. on OWN. What's going on this season briefly, and then we'll move on to the last thing to do with you here. What's happening? What's going on right now in the life of Jeffrey Harrington?
Well, in terms of Jeffrey, I think there's a decision. I'm not going to call it a bad decision. There's a decision that he's going to make that's going to shift everything in his storyline. And something major with one of the characters is going to happen by the end of the season. Ooh. And
what does that character's name rhyme with?
Oh, I can't do that.
I tried, everybody. I tried.
You got to tune in.
Oh, man.
Your character's had a lot of shifts. Whew.
Oh, my God. I can only imagine going through 7 seasons.